To America! Welcome to the Tong, where our loyalty lies only with warrior, and they will scrap only if I give them the order. And you feeling itchy, you got something to say? Just know we hop this way. Nobody else is suited for this other than us. I know it's crazy, but we work with it and don't give up. Welcome to the show. If you don't know the name, we call it Hop This Way.
Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Hop This Way show. It's your boy Zeus, joined as I have from week to week with the rest of my fabulous Tong here. I got Money Matt Chua to the left here. Chua America, how's it going, brother?
Hello. What's going on?
You know, not much but the rant. No, not much going on. We got ourselves.
That shows your age.
I know, right? You got that. You got that, Steph.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, somebody's gonna get it. I don't care. So I'm not too old. We're good. Speaking of the woman who gets it, that's her right there, Miss Stephanie Young Pratt, the Asian hip hop hippie. How are you?
What's going on, guys?
Another fun day in the hood. And then, of course, we have got the professor, the master himself, Frank Zhang. How's it going, my friend?
It's going to be lit, as the kids say.
Do they still say that?
Yes.
I've heard it a couple of times.
That is not left yet.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that's lit, yo. That's lit. It's even litty, if you will. And nothing gets more litty than the yoga queen herself, Miss Rebecca Nishi. How are you, Rebecca?
I'm very fine. Very glad to be here with you again.
Now, guys, we are doing another week without reviewing an episode, reviewing the big episode. But we've got another good reason for the folks at home. And listen, Rebecca's done it again. Rebecca, you are just like, I mean, you've got a job in producing somewhere because you get the guests each and every week. And this week is no different. Why don't you introduce who you brought to us this week?
No more. Nothing less than the right hand of Breton, Johnny Yang.
Yay!
There he is,
It's a great cue. I was waiting for ages.
I'm just like, just hold for 5.
Arms are getting tired.
It's the ultimate training. Thanks so much, Johnny, for being here. Really big of you to do this. And as Rebecca said, the right-hand man to stunt coordinator Brett Chan. You're right up there, man.
Oh, thank you. You got to give it up to Brett. You know, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. One of my best buds, and a fantastic boss to have on the show.
I bet. As we see the two of you right there, all masked up and everything. That's how you can tell you're intense. Like, you're still doing the martial arts and you're wearing the mask while you're training. So
I like to just tell myself, it gives me an excuse to say when I gas out, no, it's the mask. It's the mask. Normally I'd be great, but it's the mask.
Well, I'm going to start using that as an excuse and be like, no, it has nothing to do with the fat ass that I have. Now, we welcome you to the show. We all have a few questions for you. We're going to try to take it easy on you, all of us except for Matt, but that's all right. That's all right, because Matt Chua has got not the Tong trivia this week.
No.
What do you got for us, buddy?
Later on in the show, we will be debuting the revamped version, the rebranding, the remix. Tong trivia is no longer a thing. It is the Tong Trials, where Johnny Yang is going to have to be drugged through the fucking mud and a half through all the random questions that I will be throwing at him. And hopefully he will endure all the pain and punishment that I will be asking of him. And in turn, he will be one of us. One of us. What?
Let me bring up my scripts for my cheat sheet.
But we'll save that for now.
Yeah, we will save that
for later in the show.
For later in the show. Now, who would like to start things off here? I'm thinking Miss Rebecca Nishi. You You went the extra mile as you do every week.
The talent scout.
You are the talent scout. Why don't you start things off here for us?
Yes, I'm gonna ask one thing that many fans might have some curiosity. You are Johnny. You are second unit director assistant in Warrior. So, for our audience, for our fans, explain what is this job exactly? What is the second unit director?
Well, whenever we film Warrior, we get our action unit, which Brett Chan is. Then he directs all the second unit stuff. Normally, he stunt coordinates the entire show, but on those specific days, he's now the second director, and it's easier to just not have to wear both hats. So when that happens, I take over as a second unit stunt coordinator, specifically for all the action units. So that way Brett can focus on just directing. So that just runs the gamut of, preparing what the next shot is, making sure if actors have need pads, if, the shot's going to be the stunt double, got to get the stunt doubles ready, just all the side of organizing and then watching camera to make sure everybody's safe. That way Brett can focus on just the performance aspects of the show.
That's amazing, because I have heard you talking to Sifu Mimi-chan, and you were talking that you were saying that some shows just take the stunts and use the choreography, but don't let you to direct the scenes. But no one better than you just to know how that fight works on, in a scene.
I love that.
A lot like that, right?
I like that.
That works
I
perfectly.
love that picture.
we take a lot of photos when we're on these shows, and then so eventually I started doing a thing with my buddy. That's Zin, who was also one of the actors, stunt guys on the show. Where instead of just standing there and like smiling, we would do obnoxious things in the background, just so there's some difference. Otherwise, we just take so many photos. I have enough photos of me standing there, but I don't have enough photos of me just doing nonsense in the background, which it's just funny to me. It's more for me than anything. Yeah. What were you saying? Oh yeah. So I get it. It's hard just because, again, I mean, we've had this chat many times, and there is a shift in the industry now, especially with a lot of performers turn coordinators, turn second directors, turn directors.
Your boss.
Hey, hey. Where now we're no longer just seen as you're just guys that fall down for a living. Where there are legitimate coordinators who are more than that. They're filmmakers. So I think there's definitely a shift in that, with as many of the coordinators who are turning into full-time directors in that sense. And Warrior's just been lovely, where they know that Brett knows his stuff, and so they trust him. And it's just a different mentality, in that way. Like, I worked in China once, and I remember asking, because I've never worked there before, and so I asked one of the DPs and the camera ops, like, hey, just out of curiosity, we've done all this previs. Are you guys going to mirror it when we film? I'm just curious. And then his answer to me was very he went, yeah, of course. He's like, why wouldn't we? You've done all the hard work. You've picked a lot of great angles. So the way they ran, at least on the show I worked on, which was a big budget show, they said, we'll film one camera, will always film your angles, and we'll have like 3 other cameras floating around getting other stuff, which is great. But they're like, yeah, but we'll take one camera, the A cam, will film your stuff because you've done a lot of the work for us. Why wouldn't we use it? And it's just a different mentality than they have here in the US.
As we see Brett Chan chiming in as per usual.
What
is it like working with Brett? Because Brett seems like, honestly, at least with our interactions with him, he seems like quite the prankster, a jokester. And when we see his social medias, he's always at dinner with somebody.
Brett, I mean, what honestly, he's I can honestly say Brett's, I've done the most shows with him as his assistant coordinator, sometimes as his stunt coordinator, if he's directing. And one of the very great things about Brett, there are many, but is he generally wants the people around him to grow. If he sees something in you, he'll push you to get better and to grow. He's not the kind of guy that's like, oh, I will just use you to get myself ahead and leave you behind. He would generally push everyone around. He sees if he digs your energy and he thinks there's something in you, he will try to bring you up with him if he can along the way. So because of that, I always find that it's better in terms of being a boss to have people that are loyal to you because they like you, as opposed to the loyal because they fear you. If I work for you just because I fear you, you'll get the minimum amount. You know what I mean? If I genuinely like you and think you care for me, then I go above and beyond because why? Because now we're friends and stuff,
Yeah, he's watching you.
Oh, pretty nice.
Who's first, Brett? You be nice first, Brett.
Now let's go through this. I know he's very giving and generous person, the most loving one. But how is it when he gives you a lecture? I'm afraid of thinking of this. How is it him when he's mad?
I've been lucky, and this is early on. Brett gave me my first real big assistant coordinator job. I've never done it before. I've worked on smaller shows, as a performer, but nothing to the scale that he had hired me on my first big one. And so there was a lot of things I didn't know how to do, or I just wasn't aware of at the time. I didn't know this is how a set was run per se. So he gave me a task to do, and I didn't do it because I didn't know that's what I was being expected of doing. And he laid into me, which is fair. I at no point was I mad about it. But I wholly deserved it, and I owned up to it. And I remember, for the rest of the night that we were filming, it was like a dog with his tail between his legs. But I still have a job to do, so I had to suck it up and be brave and walk up to him and go, okay, well, next is this. Do you want me to buy? And I can't just go and sulk in the corner and not do my job anymore. Right. So I remember that was definitely the hardest part of because I didn't know him that well back then. And honestly, I can honestly say that's probably the only time he's ever really yelled at me for anything. Because I learned my lesson, and I knew it to, and because again, being so new and Brett being so nice was that
super nice.
Yeah. On a show, the hard dichotomy is he is my friend, right? He right now, he is one of my best friends, but we're on a job. Yes, he is. But you have to remember, he's still the boss. He is still the boss. So you can't take and be lax in your duties and stuff like that. And I think around that time, I because I was new, I kind of was like, oh yeah, it's cool because he's so friendly, and then I messed up.
And the friendliness went away.
Yeah. Was it scary? Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it.
He's so buff.
It's Brett Chan from Deadliest Warrior. There's not a weapon he cannot use to kill you.
Yeah, 100%. You haven't seen his mitts. He's got giant fists.
I was gonna say that. You can see by the picture, he's always the most large one in the picture. He's the shoulders this big.
Yeah, the chest. He's got great superhero muscles. Just
legit.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, just because the boss is watching.
Yeah, between while we're working, Brett will always take a few minutes, and because he's so busy, he can't work out as much as he wants to. But if he can, he'll just run to the side, grab some heavy, some 50 pounds, and do a bunch of supersets, and then go back to work. And so he'll well, hey, we've not broken for lunch, and he'll run real quick, grab some weights, and do a superset before we break for lunch. So he is trying to keep at it.
He's on team stay ready.
Yeah, basically. We don't want what they call there's a joke we have that we don't want a coordinator body.
Okay.
I have a coordinator body. I have a feeling. I'd make a great coordinator. Now, Frank, do you have a question as well?
Yeah, man. So when you were talking about your growth in the industry, what was having a martial arts background? What did you find helped you when you were getting in, and what do you think kind of maybe you had to unlearn, or maybe you had to view things in a different way?
I think something that, as far as coming from a martial arts background, is that the film fighting to me in itself is its own martial art. Having a background helps, but just because you are a fantastic martial artist does not automatically make you a good film fighter. It doesn't equate. It helps because you have a background, but I've seen enough people who have a strong, whether it's kung fu, taekwondo, boxing, you name it. It doesn't matter what MMA. It doesn't matter what their background is, but as soon as they go on a film set and they have to learn choreography, they have no idea how to move anymore, and you're kind of just punch like you would normally punch. You still punch, and they for some reason can't do it. So that's what I find is that I had to learn, or a punch like this is how you would do it technically correctly. But if you punch this way instead, it looks better for camera. Right. So that's why I equate, and so you have to flip that mindset that just because you know martial arts doesn't make you a great film fighter. I know great film fighters who have very little martial arts background, and I know the vice versa, who have trophies after trophies, and they cannot fight on camera. Wow. For whatever reason, they just can't do it.
So why do you figure that is for Steven Seagal? No, I'm just talking.
He can do it because he's just beating people up.
Right. And
I would say he's a great film fighter because he's just hurting people.
him and Jean-Claude Van Damme are both well known for that.
It doesn't take much skill to literally just kick someone in the face.
That's the story from Expendables 3 or 4. Jean-Claude Van Damme was in it, and he literally kicked Liam Hemsworth in the chest with a roundhouse, which has happened many times with JCVD.
Yeah, I'm of two men. For me, I was taught if you are going to hit to the body, safely enough. If I'm going to get kicked in the chest, you kick me in the chest. It's my body. It's fine. We train for a reason. Face obviously is a different matter. Though that's when you got to do camera tricks and stuff and figure out how to stack. But to me, if you're going to hit me in the body, I'm like, just hit me in the body. It just for me, it just always works better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It looks better. We've got a fight going in the comments.
I know.
With Brett and Sean.
This is normal.
Usual.
This is
every week.
This is normal.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Each had their own spinoff.
We know your bald ass isn't pretty. We always have to take a minute just to see what's going on there, just to make sure. Because we know the two of them love each other, but I think there's some love-hate there.
That's how you know they love each other. You know what I mean? That's how you know. That's how you know they're good homies.
Yeah, that's it's like being on a football or any sports team with anybody. If you're busting balls with somebody, you usually like them quite a bit.
Yeah,
and busting balls is a non-gender specific term.
That's bro love for
sure. Right. Sean says, "What's up, Johnny? Glad you're on the show." So are we.
Hello, Sean. Thank you.
Just love you guys. Got to get to bed. I'm in South Africa. Listen. I don't even want to get into the whole fact with Dean Jagger's last post when he was reading season 3. He's like, what about that, Johnny? That's something I do want to ask you about, especially as a stunt coordinator. How much in the know are you when it comes to scripts and story, or are you guys just basically, all right, this is what's coming up. We need a big fight scene here, or we need to convey this here through action.
No, you do have to, as because we're part of the core team. At least this is how we work. Is that you have to know the script and the story, so that when we do the action, we know where it's coming from and where it leads. Do you know what I mean? Like we can't put in something that doesn't exist beforehand, and vice versa that doesn't exist afterwards. Brett, obviously, because he is the actual stunt coordinator on the show. Brett is much more in the know, because he'll have his own meetings about that. That's just what you do as the boss. All the extra work that goes into it that we don't get to see. Off the clock. And if he'll find out something, he'll always relay the messages to us so that we can better do our job. But no, I read all the scripts that get sent out. We make our notes, we come up with ideas, but you have to know it so that you know what came before. Right. Brett's big thing is always it needs to service a story, so it helps to know where they're coming from, and why and everything.
Awesome. Steph,
let's see. I guess a couple of my questions are, well, is there anything that you're what's your least favorite thing to go back to? Because we assume that, it's all love and it's a lot of hard work. But is there anything you're dreading going back to as far as shooting the next season?
You know what? The only thing I currently dread really is because of the pandemic and everything that's been happening, we don't know what the next season is going to really be like. A lot of the same crew, and the majority of the crew on Warrior was lovely to work with. You know, so South Africans are so hardworking. Obviously, my stunt team, but we have a lot of new people coming in. And that's always the fear, right? It's like when you work with new people, this goes for any job. How does the team mesh together? Is it going to work well? And and season 1 and 2. Shut up, Brett. I miss working with you. You know that. It's so long. It's so long. I would say that is the worry right now. Is, you know, we loved working on 1 and 2 so much, and that goes with the show, the people, the town itself, and it's been 3 years, right? 2019. Yeah, it's been 3 years. It's like, how much of that has changed? Are we all chasing this warrior dragon that may not exist anymore? That, for me personally, that's my kind of fear, is that, like, have I put it up so high that when I got there, am I going to be able to, like, someone may have to take me down to earth and be like, no, it's always been like this, Johnny. You just overhyped it in your brain because it's been so long.
Yeah.
You know, so that's for me as a personal thing, is the dread, because working on the show is just, it's great. I really love the creative freedom that they give to us, which honestly doesn't happen on a lot of shows.
That's what we've heard a lot as far as the input and, you know, the input that people have with JT. You know, that's what we've heard from everyone who's been on the show. As far as, you know, a little more comical part. Okay, I'm new to Halo. So the two you two worked on Halo also. So as far as the stunts, going from Warrior to watching the series Halo, remember, I'm new to it, new to Halo. I'm watching Bokeem, who's younger than me, and I'm watching him do certain moves, and I'm thinking, oh, Brett and Johnny. Okay. They're the ones who made this happen. They made this happen. That was badass. And it was just such a pleasure. So being the older chick I think out of everybody, I'm the one with the least amount of martial arts experience, but somehow I'm supposedly the scariest, right? The scariest of our bunch here.
Yes,
what do you have for recommendations for somebody older getting up to speed in martial arts? Because I will be scary, but I just don't think it's yet.
I guess it depends on what you actually want to learn and, like, why. I would say, because I have no idea your age. I'm not going to ask. You look phenomenal. But
Asian don't raisin.
You know, I like to say, only we can say this because we're Asian, but chinky don't rinky.
Yeah.
We get to say that.
That's all right. I got black don't crack.
You guys don't get that. We get to say that. But I'm the one that says that. I just
never heard it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, I came up with that, and I just say it because it's inappropriate.
Okay,
and it's
this is your fault. That's your fault.
But yeah, I mean, like, when I was younger and doing, like, wushu is my main background, I had the opportunity, and I wish I kept with it, to, like, do Tai Chi, for instance. But, you know, you're young and you want to do the flashy, big stuff, so I didn't drive it like I should have, and I regret it now that I'm older, because it's so good for you, and it's such a cool art, and it's still evolving. You know, over in China, I just had a chat with some. I was working the other night, and some legends in our wushu community were there, and we were just chatting about it, about how difficult it is and how good it is for you. And I wish I'd kept up with it. So if you want to do it for health reasons, it's great overall. It's not easy. People think Tai Chi is like, oh, it's easy because it's slow. It's not easy. Tai Chi's pretty hard to do.
It's so interesting you say that. Because like my dad did Tai Chi for a long time, but, you know, again, you said it. When you think of things, you're looking at the flashy. And actually, a close friend of mine was a wushu champion. So, of course, you know, you're looking at all of that. I took one Tai Chi class and I didn't really continue with it. But getting older in these years and trying to stretch out old damage, I'm actually, you know, doing a Muay Thai class. So trying to get acquainted with that stuff. It's interesting how what you just said about Tai Chi really is a health benefit, because if you actually truly start to do some of those moves that I remember from one class, all of those moves, that's why the old folks do it, because it's really hitting all of those spots that we hold all of that tension, all of the junk. So I'm going to be watching to see, you're going to give us some Tai Chi updates, please. So.
Yeah, I would. I mean, part of why I really want to is like, as my parents get older, and like my mom is surprisingly uncoordinated. And so I would love to, if I knew it well enough, to teach her myself, because she'd feel less self-conscious learning it from me. Because like I said, it's got such good benefits to you, like, joint and stuff like that. It's a good recuperative if you do any of the harder styles like Muay Thai, like when I was doing, Wushu and stuff like that. The Tai Chi side is a great way to recuperate all that damage back. It's so good for you.
We do have another question here, and it's a pretty serious one. Who would win in a fight, Johnny or Brett Chan?
That's a non. Pull up that photo of us on Halo again, and look at the two of us. It's Brett all the way. Look at him. Look at him.
We all know size don't matter in the ring.
It'd be like Toad versus Lizard, from the Venom clan. It'd be like Toad versus Lizard,
Yeah.
Right.
Just to reply, Brad, he had said a few times here that John makes him looking good, but remember I don't know if you are watching yet. I still, yeah. But for his birthday, I made a collection of many interviews of other actors and people from the show. Everyone saying so many good things about him. I made like a collage of, everyone's statements.
Yeah.
So everyone loves you. Stop that.
I do want to clarify something because I think Brett misunderstood something I said. I'm not saying you look like a Toad. There's the Venom mob from the Shaw Brothers. There was a character in there named Toad who was like his character had invulnerable skin, so he was playing this guy who was really jacked. So I told Brett, sorry.
Brett's like, I know.
Oh.
I'm Brett Chan. I know this stuff.
And remember, in Kung Fu lore, Toad Hamagong, the Toad style, is one of the strongest styles.
Exactly.
Is it?
Remember in Kung Fu Hustle, I want to say the most popularized that we've probably seen, Kung Fu Hustle, the Beast, his boss style, his last what is it? This is my final form style was Toad style.
That's fun.
The Venom.
Didn't I see some clip that they're trying to come out with another Kung Fu Hustle? Is that true?
Part 2.
Yeah.
Sequel. Yeah.
I don't think, if I remember, isn't he not? He's just directing it, right? I don't think he's gonna be. Is he gonna be in this one? I thought he wasn't gonna be in it. I think he's just directing it. I might have read that somewhere. I don't remember.
I'm more worried about the reboot that they're doing of Big Trouble in Little China.
Well, no.
Yeah. I don't.
Friends and I love that movie.
Me too. I don't know how you do that and do it justice. But I'm also of the mindset, you know what? If someone wants to reboot something, especially if it's something I grew up with and I loved, I'll watch it and give it a shot no matter what.
No, I can't.
Well, I would rather that than another Housewives.
I've always hated people who say, "Oh, that ruined my childhood." If a reboot or anything ruins your memories of something as a child, I question how much you actually liked that show as a child, or if you actually remembered it. It's I don't know.
Well, let's hope.
If you love the show, nothing.
You could watch the reboot and just watch the original right afterwards to erase it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You could do it that way, and it'd be okay.
It never ruins my childhood. I'm just kind of like,
yeah.
It should.
There's just so many good, because it was a product of its time, and there's so many things they've done in it that I don't think would be as good today. We're watching it not like a couple maybe months back. We're having a fun movie night, so we rewatched it, and there's like one of the lines that we all forgot about, but it's so funny is when he goes, "How'd you get?" After they drank, I think it's after they drank the potion, and then he's like, "How'd you get up there?" And his answer down was just, "Wasn't easy," and that's all he said. It's so funny, and then they didn't explain anything, and they just moved on. It was just like, "Wasn't easy," and that was it.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
We've gone through everybody. Matt, you got a question before you get to your Tong?
Yeah, I got a random ass question. So, in your Instagram, it says you are a coffee lover and a wannabe foodie. So I need to know a couple things. I know, I see that. What is that, by the
Brett,
way?
you're always invited on here. Let me just put this out here. Brett says this shit every week.
Yo,
all right?
Brett, hold on. Wait, I'm going to say this right now. Brett's defense is so nice. He's stayed dodging our show. Like, it's wild.
Like every week he comes on, he's like, he talks. You're on the show every week. We don't even need
That's what
you.
I was gonna say. Like you,
Come here, Brett.
you
What
started commenting at the start of the show, and he's still commenting. You could have done the show, Brett.
Like,
And he keeps saying he's leaving.
The shades.
He's got work to do. He's in South Africa.
Funnier that way.
Dodging.
You are dodging. You are dodging.
All right, you know what,
being on here.
Brett? You tell us a time. You send me a message on Facebook or wherever, and tell me when you're good, brother, because you know you've got
Let's
the open
go.
invite.
You know
Now,
I'm
Matt.
coming to South Africa, and I'm gonna force you to make it with me.
Nice.
I'll go with you. Let's
I'm
go.
just waiting for you guys to film a season of Warrior in actual San Francisco so I can make it.
You know? Oh my God. The dream. I wish.
Right. All right. So Matt, you had a question before Brett got in there.
Oh fuck! I have no idea. I forgot where I was at. Oh, I was
Coffee
just talking
lover?
about food and coffee, my favorite shit in the whole wide world. So I need to know. What are the top 3 places that you've had the best coffee and the best food?
Man, that's such a hard choice, and you know, because palates change and you go around a lot, and I've had so much coffee from so many different places. One that sticks out was my first time when I traveled. Really, like, I mean, not because I've gone to Asia a lot. I went to Russia in Moscow to do a film, and at the big shopping center, I had like they were 2000 whatever 17 or something cappuccino of the year or something like that. And that one always stuck out in my brain because I was like, "Whoa, it is really good," and I had no idea how good the coffee game in Russia was. That's one. In LA, my go-to spot is free plug. If you guys hear this, give me free coffee because I go to you every time. Groundworks Coffee in the Arts District is my go-to spot. I love that place. And then, man, where else have I been had really good coffee? Oh my God, Japan. Oh shoot, Japan. Where was I? I was in Kyoto. Up by the bamboo forest. What is the name of that town? Up there. There's a place. There's like a photo of it on my Instagram where it's just a picture of a coffee cup. While I was in Japan, it was like on a wall or something like that. That place was delicious. I just drank coffee, and it could have been the atmosphere that just helped to cloud. Because I grabbed a cup of coffee, I sat by the river and just watched. And just people watched like 2 hours and just sat by a beautiful river, you know. It was very, very cathartic. Yeah, it was amazing. So I would
say about wine as well, because what's the best wine you have ever had? I mean, depends on the company or where you were. Maybe this Japan coffee was something like the atmosphere, everything.
Yeah, I mean the coffee was great as well. But I think maybe some of it had to do with the fact of the location I was in. Really helped to like bring out the nature helped bring out the flavor of the coffee. I don't know.
Now I do have another question for you, Johnny. Can you sing me some Scrubs?
Can I?
Yeah, I hear Brett says, ask Johnny anything. He knows everything. If you ask him to sing, he knows all songs from 80s, 90s pop art.
I wouldn't say all songs. It's just that a lot of the popular, because I used to listen to a lot of music. I used to like back when cassette tapes were still a thing, and you want to record a song back then.
Yeah.
So you have to wait for the radio. You have to hit the record button, and so exactly. I was at a budget like shop place the other day, and they were selling. Remember, to play music in your car, they had that tape cassette that had the wire.
Yes.
I forgot about that, and I was like, "Holy crap! They still make those? That's wild."
They do.
Yeah, so that's
I
why
know you can sing as
a
well.
ton.
You are
No, I wish I could sing. My middle sister is a great singer. I never I like to sing, but I wish I could sing. Like whenever I meet people who can really sing, I'm always like in awe, mad jealous. Because of that. It's just I just have to know a lot of lyrics because I'm that guy who like plays a song on repeat and just
I do that
over until I learn it. No reason. I just do it to do it. No reason.
I do it and I don't learn the words ever. I literally grew up in the well, I'm going to be 50 soon. So in the 80s, there was a song called White Lines,
Mm-hmm.
and
I'm
it's all
older
about
than
cocaine.
you.
All about cocaine. I had no idea it was about cocaine until like 3 weeks ago. I thought they were always singing White Lies. White Lies
Yeah,
go
see,
away.
Try having me and my mother counsel my teenage sister on Prince singing "Pocket Full of Trojans." Okay, like
Night, Brett.
the era.
Night again,
Night
Brett.
again.
Yeah.
I do have a serious question I want to get here for you though, and I'm sorry about that, Steph.
Is it serious?
Just before we forget, Sean asked this one, and it's a really important question. What do you do for your mental health, living such a busy lifestyle? I would imagine a lot of it has to do with just training, but
you know what? Yeah, training definitely used to be a more like go-to thing. Training was my everything growing up. It didn't matter what was happening in my life. Like if I got sick, even now when like if people tell me they're sick, I'm also like go sweat a little. It's good for you. But to me, you have to know when to stop. Like that's the way my body worked was if I got really sick, I would just go train anyway to a certain point, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm done. If I go more, I'll get worse. But this feels like a good level, and I'll just stop. Nowadays, yeah, training helps. But what as I just feel like as you get older, or as I get older, sorry, don't be afraid to do nothing. There's nothing wrong with doing nothing. I think we vilify it a lot where everyone feels like you have to be on a hustle all the time. And honestly, that doesn't seem like it's a very healthy way to live in the long run. Yeah, it's great to get ahead and everything, but I would say I have to learn. That's when I went to Japan. That was kind of my trip to like, I'm just gonna turn off the brain and just enjoy and not worry about life, nothing, just enjoy. And I think people that gets vilified, like, oh, how can you just do nothing? You got to do this. And I was like, no, take time. It's not selfish. That's what I would say nowadays as I get older. It's like, don't be afraid to just do nothing. It's okay. Everyone deserves a chance to just do nothing once in a while.
Yeah.
I got very comfortable with that just last year, and it felt so awkward. But then, like after a while, it was just like, holy shit! Like, there's so many benefits just being like, oh, what do I got? I don't have to do anything. Oh my god, it's nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've crazy on quarantine, and I loved staying home, doing yoga, and being quiet.
Ooh, this Saturday yoga date. Let's do our yoga date Saturday.
Let's do it.
I thought you said we're going to start doing the Hop This Way yoga. Virtual Hop This Way yoga for everybody, and that'll be like we're only for our Patreons.
We don't have no Patreons.
Exactly.
There's no paywall.
Oh, I have a quick add-on. So, Johnny, if you get it from one coffee lover to another, but not brewed coffee. Have you ever tried for something instant and on the go? Have you ever tried Laird's Superfood Creamer and their InstaFuel? It's addictive. It's so.
I didn't even know what you said. What?
Laird Hamilton is a pro surfer. I stumbled across this, and it's in a powder mix. And for a coffee lover, this is so yummy.
Okay.
And it's healthy stuff. So it's got like coconut sugar, coconut flour. Then there's a like a nut version, like aloha nut and it's all like a Aquaman, some other healthy, hydration thing from algae or something, but it's yummy. So especially if you can't, get your favorite cup, somewhere, try some of that because again, good for you. That's my attempt at being, healthier.
Yeah. I know. Oh, you want to talk about dreading going back to Warrior? Finding good coffee, because where we film at, there's nothing around, so it's really hard for us to get coffee. Like good coffee in our area. And what I've always dreaded, and I think about it now, is Cape Town. No Chinese food.
What?
There's very, very little. There's a couple of restaurants. And I hate to throw shade on all of Cape Town. There's really no good Chinese food in Cape Town. It's in terms of restaurants, or at least nothing that's public. We ended up, I remember asking someone who lives there for like 20 something years, older guy. He was on our show, and I was like, "Hey, where do you guys go for Chinese food?" And he went, "We cook at home." He's like, "There's nothing really in Cape Town." Or I forget somehow, because our entire team, majority of our team is from China, and so I don't know who found this person, but they ate. I didn't get to go, but it was amazing, like skewers and stuff like that, like really traditional Chinese food. But it was in some dude's house. Some guy I didn't go, but the entire team ended up going to some like dude's house and had an amazing feast. And they said it was really good, but see, it's not an official restaurant. So I guess there's places like that if you just know.
You gotta know.
Mhm.
Like Google, where like get Chinese food. All the places we've tried, none's been really good. And it's hard. I live in Monterey Park, where if you're in the know, Monterey Park is where all the best Chinese food in LA is. I don't care what anyone says. You want Chinese food, you come to Monterey Park. That's where you get Chinese food. Monterey Park, Alhambra, it all kind of blends together. But this area is the SGV is where you get Chinese food.
Nice.
Oh, now I'm hungry.
No.
Now I'm hungry.
No, me
But I'm
too.
telling you, especially for what you need in Cape Town, grab some of that and try it because that may be your saving grace for caffeine.
Is that
I-
everywhere?
I
Can you
took-
buy it in the store?
I ordered it right online. So go right to his page. They should be freaking paying me. I should be getting stuff for free. I talk about it. But
Okay.
it's especially, because I have a home out in the jungle and especially something that's going to be convenient and easy, but I get my caffeine fix. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm
Yeah.
By
good.
jungle, she means Hawaii.
Hawaii.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
Oh.
Yeah, she's not a tree.
Let's get coffee in Hawaii.
There is.
By the
Yeah,
way-
but like I'm out in the middle of guava trees and wild boar and I need my caffeine fix.
Oh, okay. Yeah, same. Again, this is
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, so I was on your Instagram. I didn't find the picture of you in Japan, but this one made me happy. This made me happy.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. If you're in the know, you know what I mean? It's one of those things like if you know, you know.
Oh, well,
I
Jet Li.
wanna know.
On Warrior, eventually I think I was gonna have to double hoon. So that means I gotta go bald.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the long
At a certain point, I was just like I was doing it in stages. I just like shave
okay.
cut my hair and then eventually like just leave the front for a few days so I can walk around with this stupid little thing. And I saw myself and I was like, it reminded me exactly of him.
Wow.
That's fine. Well, you're also one of the long Z enforcers, right? So you just kind of keep that same haircut whenever you're on set the whole time.
Brett's still not asleep. I just want to point out Brett still hasn't gone to bed.
No, he's
Right,
sleep
you
texting
love
right
us.
now.
He said good night about 12 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I remember looking at
Is that what it's like on set with Brett too? Just one more take, guys. One more take.
Yeah.
An hour
no, he's
later.
dead ass
Just
just
one
doing
more.
this.
Well, no, I only ended up playing on camera as one of the Long Z's, episode 1, season 1. That was when the show was, we were very early. Our entire crew wasn't there yet, so there was a lack of people.
For some
I
reason,
played other stuff here and there, like see, am I in that shot? Yeah, I'm on there. that was a big running day.
Yeah.
But so that's the only time I actually ever ended up playing a Long Z. But the cue felt right. And when I put it on, and I was like, it feels right. I was like, I really dig this. It's
So you're
cool.
saying you would be long Z, not hop this way, or not hop this way, hop way.
As much as I love wearing a nice sexy suit, the Long Z coats are dope. And when you wear them, they just feel cool. I'm a big I love jackets and coats. So getting having a Long Z coat would be amazing. Like it's just so cool.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm gonna put up a couple pictures. I just want you to kind of react to them. Just
Oh no.
let me know what you're thinking.
Oh.
Tell us about this photo here.
What was I doing with that one? Oh, we fought a child.
Hey yo.
Is that from Deadly Class?
No. That was just from a show called Blind Spotting, filming here in LA. One of my very good friends was coordinating it. I was in town, and we love working together. So he was gracious enough to bring me on, and we fought a child. Like when I say literally, it was in his imagination. Like he's training, and then all of a sudden, he like blinks. Remember in Sidekicks? I don't know if you've seen the movie. Chuck Norris. Yeah. Frank's shaking his head. Have you not seen Sidekicks? Yeah, go on.
Is it Ernie Ray Jr.?
Whole movie cinema.
No, I cannot. Yeah, I can't.
That
He
kid that
unfortunately
died.
passed. Yeah, he passed away unfortunately. But yeah, it was a kid who he got gets bullied a lot, kind of a nerdy, learns martial arts. Chuck Norris was his hero, and he would always imagine Chuck Norris talking to him and teaching him stuff in times of need. That I always tell the story. That movie is where I learned how to climb a gym rope, like without easily, because he's climbing a gym rope and he can't do it. And people start egging him, and he looks over at the other rope, and Chuck is there, and Chuck starts coaching him how to do it. So there's a part in the film where he's at a tournament with nunchucks, and he closes his eyes, and then when he reopens them, it's in his fantasy, but it's so that they could put in a double who was completely masked up, who was dope at nunchucks, who could do a whole form. But in the film, the kid blinks, closes his eyes, and he imagines him fighting 3 guys, and that's why we were just in those suits.
That's pretty awesome. Also, maybe that's where Peacemaker stole it from.
What,
Anyone
beating
who
up
watched
a kid?
Peacemaker, he beats up a kid a couple times in this show.
Yeah, love it.
Sidekicks.
Sidekicks.
Just the sidekicks right
There you
here.
go.
Anyone who hasn't seen it. Jonathan Brandis, I think that kid's name was.
Yeah, Jonathan something. I remember 20,000. He was in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea as well, if I remember.
Or,
Another
no, it was
TV show.
DSV or something like that. It was a submarine show with the
Yeah. Was that not 20,000 Leagues?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
20,000 Leagues. That was a
Oh, my bad.
book. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's another one for you.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
That's me trying to use my martial arts on every day. That's so I can. It helps because a lot of times you'll be like, if you're like, well, when we film stuff on our own, it's just how you move, because we'll be like cameras here, and it'll be like, and then goes here, and it just feels. So that's just how I get used to. Instead of doing a lot, sometimes people do this, or sometimes people do this and stuff like that, or they even like sometimes they do this stuff. I have a tendency to just be like, camera goes here, camera goes here, and so this just becomes natural to be like here, here. Yeah, that's what that's from. I think that was from the final fight where Dean fights Koji for season 2.
Season 2, episode 10.
And yeah, but the last big fight, yeah. That was a fun one.
Got another one here for you.
Oh, bring it back.
Oh,
Bring
you know what?
it back.
Yeah. Diane was gracious enough to invite me. We went to go see an improv show, and that's what that was. And so it was just a last minute thing. She called. I've never been. She called me, and we went to go see an improv show. I don't even think I knew Rich was going to show up until like I got there, and I was like, oh shoot, Rich is here.
Love it.
Nice.
And I've got one last one here for you. I hope this one doesn't bring back any bad memories.
God.
And it's funny because it's an inside joke where only basically you and I know what this is from.
God.
And maybe Brett.
That's our he who should not be named show. It is what it is. It's not. I don't have any particularly bad memories of it. It's more of like that was my first big show. I met some people who have been like Jason, who's Jason Ng from New York, who's also one of my great buds. Is also one of the other assistant coordinators on the show. I met him on that show, so I met great people on that show. That's where I met Brett. So I got I don't like to hold on to like the negative stuff. There was some good. The relationships I built on that show were great, so I hold on to those. So I can look back on the show and not like be as traumatized, but I will openly say yes, that was a terrible show. Can we swear on the show? I don't know.
Wait, what was that
Yeah,
show?
we fucking swear all the time.
Oh great, yeah, fuck that show.
I
Oh my
interviewed Brett. One of the first time I interviewed Brett, we talked quite a bit about that show and about people who are supposed to be martial arts experts that refuse to train.
Yeah, it's just people who are our bosses who don't know as much as we do,
Right.
or trying to tell us how to do things. I'm like, that's not how that works. Like, what do you like? That doesn't make any sense. I remember at one point someone asked, and it's a weird flip question where they go, when some people ask me things like, how would you realistically fight? And that's the key word. How would you realistically fight one person against like 13 people with like cops with riot shields? And in my brain, I want to be like, you lose.
Yeah.
Like, you lose. It's that simple.
Like Neo.
that's not a real question. If you go like, how you realistically, no, you lose. So what? How do you actually want me to answer this question? Or like making up martial arts just because? Yes, Chinese martial arts has a lot of animal styles, and there's some very obscure ones. There is not a style for every animal out there. So you cannot just throw an animal in front of a style and say like that's a style. And so there were times when they were trying to do that, and I would be like, maybe I've never heard of this style, but I don't think this exists.
They're like parrot style.
Yeah, there's some interesting obscure ones. Like some people may not know, like Toad would be like, Toad's a style. There's a dog style. I've seen duck.
Wait, Toad style is the natural style? I thought that was just a rib I thought it was a joke in the movie.
You said that was in Kung Fu Hustle 2, right? Or like the
first one. Yeah. No, it goes back. No, there's a couple. It's obscure, so it doesn't come up much. But like if you go back and watch an old school Hong Kong film, and I was just skimming it the other day because it's really funny. It's a spoof parody movie called the English translation is Ego Shooting Heroes. It's got the who's who of famous Hong Kong actors in it. Leslie Chung's in it. Jackie Chung's in it. Big Tony, Little Tony's in it. I think Maggie Chung's in it. I can't remember. There's so many people on the show. Karina Lau's in it, and they took a bunch of the old school Chinese classics and made one film out of it. And so it's a big parody. And Little Tony Leung, Little Tony, because the two of them, he plays a bad guy, and his go-to style is Toad form. So, and that's a film from like the late 80s.
And as we see, it is a true form right there.
Yeah, it's a real thing. So that's why Iron Fist. A lot of times when I tend to reference like shows where I go like they look at what you do and they throw it away and just do whatever they want, and they don't respect your professionalism and your knowledge. Iron Fist for me, the show, at least the shows I've worked on, is definitely was the highest level of that because. Again, like I said, they had people who did not know as much as Brett, who would try to tell Brett, and Brett would school them on things, and they were like, they didn't even know, it'd be like having the wrong weapons in like one of the studios. I can't remember what the actual weapon was, but Brett had to tell him like, that's completely the wrong weapon. The style is this, but that's not the weapon. That's a Chinese weapon, I forget which version of it was, but like stuff like that. It's like that they just, I can't remember exactly what it was.
Was it the stick where he was trying to do like a gen?
It might have been, and then well, I get that one because didn't he do a I think he did a straight form, but then it was a Japanese studio, so they wouldn't have a straight sword in there, So he did it with a shinai or something. I can't remember what happened. But yeah, it's just, and I remember like directors on the show like overhearing them saying like, "Oh man, I hate shooting action." I was like, well, then you're on the wrong show. And let us shoot it. It's quite easy. Let us shoot it. We love shooting action. Then let us shoot it. If you hate it, then let us do it instead. Why won't you just let us do it?
Yeah, it kind of baffles me. I'm still going to put this out there. I know that Iron Fist in the comic books, they've changed them from Danny Rand to a new Chinese character.
I've heard.
I'm not too sure who it is because I haven't caught up yet. But if they were to recast Danny Rand in this Disney Plus, I am sorry, I am sticking with. I know he's older, but it's got to be Ryan Felipe. Dude's already blonde,
really,
blonde hair, blue eye, looks just like Danny Rand, and he's what, a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo.
That's possible.
He's got the skills in there. I mean. And he can
I just think part of the issue is look, we don't, Hollywood has evolved past the 80s and like early 90s and stuff like that, right? In terms of portraying martial arts on film, and when you try to lean too heavily into the making someone pose and do styles on TV, it can come off very cheesy if you're not careful. True. And Iron Fist was a show that they just wanted him to do poses and stuff all the time, and it came off. I mean, you know the lore, and so it is what it is. So there is a fine line to like make
serious
that happen. Yeah,
and they are the rumors are there that the second season's coming. Daredevil
Already
season
a
2
second
has been
season.
confirmed.
Yeah, I think
Or
there is.
Daredevil season
You know,
2,
they're rebooting everything.
they're not. Daredevil is a
Oh.
continuation from the Netflix series. It's picking.
Oh,
up-
sorry. When I say reboot, I'm like they're bringing it back. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. So which I think is cool. I mean, but we do get Finn back, I guess. And sorry, trying to be nice. I'm sure he's a pleasant person.
He's not a bad guy. I just think it wasn't the right fit for him.
Right.
That's
Bad
that's
casting.
that's what it is.
No,
You know, it's just,
yeah.
it wasn't the right fit for him.
For sure. Well, okay, so we got through all those, and we're near our hour point here. So I'd be remiss if I didn't hand things over to Money Matt Chua here to get you initiated into our little Tong. So I'm going to put Matt on the solo here, and he's going to explain how things go here.
Oh, Johnny Yang, here we go. So,
Oh man,
we have this thing here. It was formerly known as Tong Trivia, but because of a little oopsie daisy that I made on the last show that we did, I have now reformed it, rebranded it. It is now called the Tong Trials. And what this consists of is a series of random ass questions that I have made up in my cracked fucking cranium, and I'm going to ask you, and there really isn't a wrong answer at all, but what happens is we're going to run through the gamut of questions, and once it's all said and done, you will be digitally branded and initiated into our Hop This Way Tong. That's pretty much how it's going to go.
all right, let's do this.
All right. So, Johnny Yang, are you ready to endure the Tong Trials?
It feels like there should have been fire and lightning.
Oh, wait. Do I have music? I might have music for this.
It's very WMAC Masters. If anyone here is,
Yeah.
The music I have.
thanks, Frank.
Nah, I'm good on that. All right, so here we go. All right. Your first question is superpower you would want to have, and would you use it as a hero or villain?
Is wet swinging a superpower? Because he technically makes them, if depending on the version of Spider-Man. Climbing walls seems to be pretty cool. I don't know what, as a hero, what you could do. I guess it depends on what version. Are you the Spider-Man who it's like micro hairs, so he can like, because then in some of the other ones he grabbed a person, like stuck him on his back, so he wouldn't have to carry him, and he was able to run off with them. That's always been pretty cool because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan.
Okay.
So depending on what you say, it's web slinging or I probably do it as a hero if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Web slinging hero. Perfect. App on your phone you are always on.
Is the photos one an app that I'm always on? Shoot. What am I always on? Let me look at my phone real quick. I'm always on WhatsApp because that's how we all chat with each other. Oh, you know what? I'm on YouTube. I watch a lot of nonsense on YouTube because like if I'm like driving, like I'm not watching it, but I play like shows, like a lot of like funny like variety shows. I love comedy, so then I'll just play anything that's comedic and I just have it run in the background because some of them are like variety shows, like British variety that I love. And
You
I
like
just
funny stuff. You never listen to our show.
Can I play on YouTube? I said comedy, Zeus.
Right. This is more of a tragedy.
That's funny. All right, here we go. Chore around the house you hate doing.
I can't think of a chore, but here's something I hate doing, and it happens every year: wrapping presents.
Okay.
I detest wrapping presents. So a lot of times I put presents in like gift bags, so it's easier. Then you shove tissue paper. As far as the chore, no, there's not a chore I really like detest doing. It's just one of the things you have to do. But I would count if I had to choose something I hated, wrapping gifts. It's so monotonous and just you know what I mean? And because you wrap it, you spend all the time wrapping it, and then rip and
Yeah. All that work for nothing.
God.
Yeah.
I feel that so far. prized possession that you currently own?
Ooh, prizes that I currently own.
Be water, my friend.
Prize. I do love this. I don't know again if you as far as I'm the only one I know that has something like this. This is season 2. Season 2, Shannon Lee was gracious enough to pass out T-shirts. So we were at a big group dinner during the day. There's actually a photo of it somewhere. And as soon as she handed me the shirt, I realized what I had. I ran downstairs to the mall and went looking for a Sharpie, and I had everybody that was there sign this T-shirt. So I've got the gamut of some of our writers, our producers, our actors, Brett, our coordinators, anyone that was there, Shannon. So it's just cool that I have. It's a Bruce Lee T-shirt given to me by Shannon Lee from a Bruce Lee show, signed by a bunch of people. You know what I mean? So it's just that's cool. I love this.
I was gonna ask about this. Oh my gosh.
And as far as I know, I'm the only one that has something like this.
You gotta get insurance on that, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't had time to actually put it up anywhere. But I that's why it's in the case. I feel really bad though because I was stupid and I was in a rush and I think it's on. You can see a little bit. I got soy sauce on it and stuff while I was there. I was in the kitchen and we had a restaurant, so I laid it down and without really looking, and there was a bits of sauce underneath, and so I have to take a pen and try to wash, but it's okay.
No, it adds to the memory. It adds to the memory flavor for the memory.
Of course.
At least it's Asian sauce, and it wasn't
See,
It wasn't like marinara.
Yeah, like Worcestershire sauce or something, whatever that is.
LOL. Speaking of marinara, if you could create the best slice of pizza, what would be on it?
Egg. I love putting eggs on things that don't really belong there. Like if I see a dish at a restaurant and it'd be like, oh, it has an egg on it. I mean, I always end up leaning towards that. I'm a pretty carnivorous meat eater. So really I've learned when I lived in China for 6 months, and when I was there being in ABC, I remember thinking that when I get there, it's easy for them to be like, you're not that Chinese because whatever. So I didn't want to give them the luxury. So I told myself when I went out there, I will eat anything they put in my face. It doesn't matter what it is. I was not going to give them that luxury to be like, oh, you don't eat it because you're. I remember when I was there and every day they kept asking me hey man, do you miss China? You miss are you used to eating this food? Are you used to eating this food? And I was always like, I eat Chinese food every day in LA. It's not a rare occurrence. One time they brought French fries, and then someone was like, "Does this make me miss home?" Yeah, look how delicious that looks.
That does look kind of good. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So I ate every part of a lamb you could possibly eat. When I was out in China. Man. Even the kids were gross. Some guy came and he had a plastic bag full of it was not full of, but there was sheep eyeballs in there. And I was all like, fuck it, let's do it. And so I took a bite, and then one of the kids next to me was like, ew, how can you eat that? And it was fine.
Yeah.
So that's when I learned if it's from an animal, apparently I'll eat it. If it's a bug, that's when I get kind of I'll try it. I'll still try it. I've had scorpion, and internally I was like,
how does that taste?
But I remember thinking there's nothing wrong with how it tastes or feels.
Yeah,
it's just mentally I'm freaking myself out because I asked the guy. This is a different time in China, and he was like, once I deep fry it, you won't taste anything, and it felt like eating a soft shell crab. You just pop the whole thing and eat it. But I remember I could feel my stomach kind of and I had to tell myself no, you're just tripping yourself out. There's nothing wrong with it. It tastes fine. Ooh. So that's why I was bugs iffy, but I'll try anything. Why not?
So
you only live once.
You goddamn right. Who would you want to narrate your life?
Ooh,
Zeus.
I don't want to go with Zeus. Oh, Zeus or actual Zeus. No, oh man, I used to be huge into a Greek mythology as a kid. Yeah, did you ever play Greco, which is basically bingo, but it's Greco, and the clues are God of Thunder, and you have to see who is that, or was oh shit, Zeus. That's so, and you would play bingo, but it was called Greco.
No, I didn't know that one.
Yeah. So shoot, who would I want to narrate? I don't want to. The go-tos are like, Morgan Freeman can narrate anything and make it amazing.
Yep.
Who has a really great voice? Oh man, if James Earl Jones. Yeah. Yeah. But with the humor that he has, because remember in Coming to America, he's just just so funny without even trying.
Even on Big Bang Theory. He was on Big Bang. He was funny as hell.
So I think James Earl Jones. How could you not have Mufasa?
I would have Gilbert Gottfried as mine. Not because I want it.
Good one.
Makes sense.
Good one.
What's a character on
Matthew McConaughey.
Ooh, all right. Who would? Where the fuck? I just lost my train of thought because of that fucking thing. Oh, what's a character on a current film or TV series you would like to play in?
That I would like to play?
Yeah.
What's a current show that I've seen that's really, really amazing? You said current, right? That's currently airing right now?
Yes.
Oh, snap. What's even airing right now?
Mandalorian.
We can pivot it a little bit.
Yeah, I have to think about
what
TV right now.
TV series or film, just in general, would you have liked to have played in, possibly?
Oh man, Spider-Man. If I could have been Sam Raimi Spider-Man, like I remember when that came out, I was tripping out. However old I was when that thing came out, I lost my mind. We saw Spider-Man 2 in IMAX, lined up for like a night showing. So just thinking like, I remember telling one of my friends, when we were like younger, and you're just joking around that like, look, if there was ever some kind of body modification, and they could turn me into Spider-Man, but they're like, but you got to sacrifice one of your friends. I looked at them, I was like, sorry, bro, I take you out. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I know, like, it's a weird thing. Like, I'm going to go off being a superhero, but I had to do it by, like, killing my friend. I'm like, yo, sorry, dude. I love Spider-Man.
I mean, I'm not mad at this.
So, yeah, I would say maybe, like, Spider-Man would just be amazing. He just there's in the animated series in the 90s, there's one episode where you first meet the lizard, and when he crawls into the sewer, and he shoots and hangs up his camera, and then he backflips like 3-4 times and then opens out into like a web swing. And again, when I saw that as a kid, just that motion and how he swung out I was like, amazing. He's the best. He's the absolute.
That's in the intro montage, I think.
I love that show.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Me too.
And one of the easy to remember theme songs. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The guy who came up with that was just like, I don't know, just Spider-Man.
That show was so good though. Like they had
that.
so many great cameos on that from Captain America, Iron Man.
Yeah.
We had the Seven Soldiers. We had the X-Men on there.
Yeah,
it was a great show. Great show.
Yeah. Cool. And then at the end, remember when he meets Stan Lee himself and he takes Stan Lee web swinging at the end.
Right. And then after that, he meets the real life Peter Parker, who's like not.
Yeah, it's the one where they grab different Peter Parkers from all the multiverses. And then there's Scarlet Spider, Iron Spider, and then one of them he's like, I'm just an actor. Like I'm Peter Parker, the actor. Yeah.
That's dope. Great show. And they're making a Madam Web movie now, which
Are they really?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Spider-Man.
Stan Lee's wife that voiced Madam Web in that cartoon, I think. They were saying
it was.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the trials, but how bad did you geek out during No Way Home when you saw all three of them?
I remember like they were teasing it for like ages. And look, I grew up, Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. So when he came back and I was like, holy crap, Tobey Maguire. It was great. Like it's again, like just it was like reliving my childhood again from when I saw the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Love it. Like I remember playing even the first two Spider-Man games on PlayStation, PS2. Such amazing games.
Oh man, yes.
You could just web swing for hours in that game for no reason. It was fun just to swing through the city. So I guess it's very fitting that I chose that as my superpower. You were just playing just yeah, and I love the fact that they made the reference. At least they made the reference. We all know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you got the Spider-Man meme where they're like pointing at each other.
Yeah,
from
the old 60s cartoon.
Yeah, yeah. It's so good. It's so good that they made that reference. Amazing.
I geeked out when I saw that.
And it was so good at seeing Andrew Garfield with the, oh man, I want to fight an alien too. He was like the sappy.
Yeah, the unwanted middle child. Yeah,
he so
He
was
killed that shit.
Jan.
he really is.
All right, and you got the last one there, Matt?
I got a couple, and then he is officially finished. So, who would you want to play you in a film or TV series about your life? Who would be you?
Oh. What is his name from the funny cute friend? I know it's weird because he's not Asian, but the in Jojo Rabbit, he was the buddy with the glasses.
Shit.
I cannot remember his name, but I remember I love him in that movie. There's something so earnest and
Sam
like
Rockwell?
lovable. You say Sam Rockwell?
Yeah.
Is that his name? No, that's an adult.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I just Googled Jojo Rabbit glasses, and Sam Rockwell was the first one that came up. I did watch the movie, but
You mean that his friend, the kid?
Yeah, Archie Yates.
Yorkie.
Yorko. It's weird that he's but for some reason, because I'm trying to think of a child to like grow up, but it's weird that he's that again he's not Asian, but I just think if he pops in my brain, I loved him. I adored him in that movie. I know he wasn't the main one, but there's something so earnest about him.
I'll take that.
I love
Person living or dead you'd like to hang out with for a day?
How can I not at this point in my life? And I feel really guilty because I've never even done the what do you call it, the pilgrimage to it. Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
I've never, you know what I mean? Like how could you not or how could I not especially with you guys here and us talking about it? Like, yeah, how great would it be to like talk with him and just and really pick his brain and hear his thoughts. I mean, it's funny because how old you guys? I can't remember because how old would he be now? Late 70s, 80s, 80 by the time?
82.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
And it's so
Was
crazy.
one-
Every time another birthday passes, and I go, oh my god, that's how old he'd be. Because in our head, we have that iconic age of him, and that's so he's locked into that forever. So to think that he's 80 something blows my mind. But I just yeah, but to wonder like what he could have done in the industry and what else he would have pioneered or or done,
Because he
it
was
would have been
such a
really interesting to
champion.
sit with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just his way of life, never gave up on the martial arts, always fell back on the training. And yeah, just to talk with him and understand like that way of life, it's like how cool is it?
Love it.
Just
gotta
feel
tell
this
you.
energy. I just wanted to stay around
Yeah.
him. Just
Oh,
feel
yeah.
that.
Because we all know we've all mythologized Bruce Lee, right? So like, I would love to sit down and have a real candid, like off the record, like and actually get to know him and and just know him as an actual person, not as Bruce Lee who we know, like who are you as Bruce Lee, The only way people really close with him, just completely unfiltered, and what his thoughts are, about like everything, the industry, life, martial arts, and really know about that.
But I feel this energy from people. I don't know if everyone believes in that, but I feel like the energy of someone, if it's good or bad, if I'm connected to, I feel that field around the person, and I imagine Bruce Lee had that magnetism that
Mhm.
you want to stay around him. Of course, I would like to talk to him, but just feel him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, although the worst fear would be meeting him and being like, they say sometimes what, don't ever meet your heroes. There is obviously that fear, but who knows? But how could you not take if I had the opportunity? How could I not take the opportunity, good or bad? To meet him.
Exactly.
Love it.
And
again,
here we go. This is always a stumper before we get to the fun final one. Name 3 positive things about yourself.
I'll eat anything. I'm really easy to bring to like a restaurant because literally I'm whenever I say like, oh, anything's fine, I really mean it. Anything's fine. I eat everything. There it is.
Shoot that
Keep
out.
eyeballs.
I was gonna yell like pineapple and stuff like that, just to have people like, oh, fight. I eat everything. That's in that sense, I would say that. I like to believe because of the environment I was raised in and the people I've been blessed enough to work with. I like to think of myself, and this sounds so like I like to think that I'm very loyal. Three, I will never pretend to say that I'm the most talented or I know the most. I'm always a student in everything. Always empty your cup. Anytime I go to a new job, if you like, when I'm on like a show, I tend to always like lurk and I look around because I want to see like, oh, what are they doing? What can I learn from this person who's been doing? Even on like Warrior, when we do, sometimes we'll work with other DPs and like, I like, we've done the previs and they're helping us reshoot it and stuff like that. And I'll ask them like, hey, how would you do this shot or something? Because I'm like, look, you're a working DP, you've 20 whatever years, 30 years more than me as a DP in the business. You obviously have experience that I want to like learn from. So I'm happy to ask them, or if someone wants to change something, I'm always like, great, yeah, go with, more than me. But in saying that, I do think I am damn hardworking. I will never let anyone take that away from me. I would say that I offset my lack of knowledge and talent with as hardworking. I remember one time a friend of mine asked me if I thought I was a genius or a hard worker. And I was like, oh, I think I'm a hard worker. Like if anything, I not that I am one, but if I became a genius, it was dude, I'm Rock Lee. If everyone knows that, if everyone knows what I'm talking about, I'm Rock Lee. I'm not Sasuke, I'm Rock Lee. So that's what I would say is that I'm damn hardworking. It's the only way I know how. It's how and perseverance.
And I'd say that this photo shows that you're both hardworking and a genius.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think if you put in hard work enough, like that was actually Zin who asked me that story. He asked me if I thought I was a genius in terms of martial arts, at least. He was like, do you think you're a genius or a hard worker? And I was like, I would say if anything, I became like a genius, like where it became easy because of the hard work that I put in. Things didn't come easy for me, but I remember spending like 2 to 3, 4 hours after training one time with my coach, just drilling because I couldn't get a front sweep, and he just stuck with me, and I don't know how many of those I did, just over and over 2 to 3 hours, because I couldn't get it until I got really good at it. I just asked and he was gracious enough to stay. So it's that you have to you have to put into it, but it didn't come easy, but it became easier because I built the foundation.
And finally, if you had a theme song every time you entered a room, what song would play?
You know what? I know it's a funny answer. I don't know. Even though I don't want. For some reason, I really like the song "California Girls" by Katy Perry. Don't know why. The phrase, I'm more like California Girls. I don't even know the lyrics. But there's something about that song, of all her songs. I'm not a huge Katy Perry fan. She's very talented, obviously. But there's something about that song when it came out that I was all like, yeah, I love that song. I don't know what it is. Yeah, if I walked in every single time that song played, I think that would be hilarious.
Straight banger.
La La Land history.
Yeah,
not what any of us were expecting, Sean.
Yeah.
That question, no one ever says whatever they're expecting. It's always a mind blow. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, it just seems easy to go with something like quote unquote, like, oh, I want like a really cool theme song, but I'm like, but a really funny theme song.
Yeah,
that's how my brain tends to go. Yeah.
Very cheerful. It's very Californian.
The opening song of Alexander Hamilton. I don't know, because it'd be really weird because I'm not
Hamilton.
Yeah, you walk in there, dun 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 dun. How does the bastard? And you're just like, but I'm not even Alexander Hamilton. Why is that my theme song? You walk in, you're like, people be like, that's so confusing. That's your theme song, but you're not Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah. Well, neither was Linwell.
Oh,
Ah,
baby.
wonderful.
So after much deliberation with the Tong that's happened clearly while you have been answering all these questions, we have discussed and we are now granting you your digital branding. You are part of the Hop This Way Tong. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Hey!
Welcome to the Tong, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Anytime. That was fun. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for have doing this, have
Um,
done this. We loved your presence here.
Now you
Yeah.
do.
It's been a lot of fun. Nice to
before
meet
you
all
leave-
y'all.
Before you leave, you have to explain to us how this happened.
Oh yeah.
We're all massive Friends fans. That honestly, like, I myself, Diane, again, we're massive Friends fans. That's how that happened. Friends is one of those shows like I'll put on the background if I'm just like working and just play, or I'll rewatch and like have a cry. You know, did she get off the plane? Did she get off the plane? I got off the plane. Amazing.
We were on a break.
Amazing. Yeah, that's how that happened. Friends. Yeah, I used to have like a Friends trivia game and just love the show. So
Who's your
all
favorite friend?
Oh, who's your friend?
Chandler, because Mr. Sarcasm himself.
What is the name that shows up on his magazine? How did they screw up his name?
I'm gonna give you the full. Here's the full complete answer. Chandler Bing. No. It's like no. Sorry, Chandler Bong. Actually, that's Ms. Chandler Bong. What is the full? And the reason why? So obviously, I know that quote from the show. If you play the Friends trivia game, I remember one time that was a question that got asked, and then I answered that way. I went Chandler Bong. No, wait. It's Ms. Chandler Bong. And then she was like, "Oh crap! You flipped the card over. That is the full answer. It's actually Chandler Bong. Wait. Ms. Chandler Bong is the full answer on that Friends trivia game. Yeah.
Dude.
It's so obscure that I can't play that trivia game because they'll be like, "What's the name of the record store across from Central Perk?" And I was like, "There's a record store across from Central Perk."
There is.
It's really like deep. I remember looking. I was like, I don't know these answers. Yeah, it's hard. But I love.
trivia.
Yeah, I have a cake when I turned 25 or something like that. That says, "Could I be any older?" That my sisters got for me.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. And I love that you took the time out of your day to come and just sit here and shoot the shit with us about your career, about the Warrior show that we all love so much, and for enduring the Tong Trials and getting legally branded into our Tong.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything you want to say before we get out?
No, I mean, look, all I can say is if it wasn't for people like yourselves who love our show, we wouldn't be coming back for a season 3. So, I always say that our show is like, we're like the little engine that could, that's why we all love everyone on the show. The cast, the crew was great. Not being such a big show, and we persevered and, made against all odds, made this thing because of you guys, came back for another season. It was like, it's to me, it's like, it's so insane. And how can I not be grateful?
We were loud. We were very loud.
I know, you guys are amazing. Again, thank you. So thank you for you guys. We'll try to keep it interesting, and hopefully you guys enjoy the next season.
You guys gave us a lot to love about it. So
Yeah, amazing.
Hashtag 6 seasons in a movie.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
just
so
great to
much.
just work on an Asian show. So thank you guys.
Thank you for doing such amazing shows, such amazing homage to Bruce Lee that adds so much to his legacy. It's like,
Yeah, thank you. No, we have good bosses above us who are very aware and very sensitive to it, who aren't just like, screw it, we'll just do whatever we want. We'll just put his name on and do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Exactly.
Mhm.
Amazing bosses, and who honestly, again, coming from a show like Iron Fist, these guys really put in the time and the effort to study and, pay tribute, respectfully to, Bruce Lee's like legacy and stuff like that.
Yes. We're all doing the love there.
Yeah.
Lots of love to all our fans. Lots of love to Johnny for coming on here. Matt, Money Chua, Stephanie Young Pratt, Frank Zhang, Rebecca Nishi, and your boy Zeus. It's been another edition of the Hop This Way Show. We're wishing you all well, and we'll see you all next time.
Boom, baby!